This topic I wanted to talk about. Okay, I was a little excited for this. I had no clue. Okay, your boy had to try it out for himself. That's how interested I was, and guess what? It worked. And I kind of feel like this is going to be an issue and going to get it removed. But here we go. Steam's 2-hour refund policy forces horror developer into indefinite absence. So, silencer free. If you don't know what this means, okay, it's pretty self explanatory.
Okay.
Steam has a refund policy that you can get a full refund in 2 hours from your purchase. Okay. So if you
Come
bought the
again.
game at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you have until 1:59 to return it. Anything past 2 hours, you officially own the game. Okay.
Yeah.
This has become an issue with speedrunners beating games within the 2 hours and then refunding the game. Okay, and this is what happened to this one developer. Now, before I read the article, Silencer, what are your thoughts initially?
Say so Steam just decided to give a refund policy on any game, or is it specific categories?
I think it's any game. So it's basically said that it's they know that they have a huge number of returns, but it's they only really do it to these small developer games. These games that
Like the
these
indie ones?
yeah, there's little indie developers that they developed a game that could be beaten in like 1 or 2 hours, especially these YouTubers, they go and they get footage, such as I.
Yeah.
And you go, you get some footage, you return the game, boom, you never have to buy it.
I don't know. I mean, it can either be, from my standpoint, it can either be good or bad.
Right.
I would say it's good in a way that the consumer gets to like a demo. Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, okay, then just fucking return it. Such as you can return anything at another store, even clothes. I don't like this. Fuck it, I'm gonna go return it, get your money back. Okay. You can even get a fucking car that's like 30, 40 grand and return it. So when it comes to games, if I play it and knowing in the back of my mind I can return it, but I enjoy the game, why the fuck would I return it?
Well, so I, it's a tough call. Okay.
It's a 50-50 if you look at it in both ways.
Yes, it is 100% 50-50. The thing is I always felt like buying digital was a cop out, right? Because you could not return it. You could not return it. You bought a game, you bought it accidentally, you bought the first part instead of the second part, the remastered version instead of you know what I'm saying? There's been shit that's like been bought digitally where I'm like, fuck, I wish I could return this. Let's say, for example, let's say the Alien game me and you played, okay? Let's say me and you beat it. We didn't
Yeah.
like the ending. We don't want to wait around for the DLC. We got footage. Let's go return it. If you had the physical copy, yeah, that'd be easy. You can go to GameStop, get some of your money back, boom. But with digital, there's a market for people that buy things and can't return it because of policies introduced by Xbox and introduced by PlayStation. So
Yeah.
they said, you know what, fuck the demo. Who's beating games? The level of naivete for these companies that don't know that speedrunners exist. They think, hey, all right, you know what? We give a 2-hour refund policy on DLC. I'm sorry, downloadable games, right?
Yeah.
So they do that. It's a good window. It's a really good window. It's a fair window. Because maybe you play a game, you don't like it, boom, you return it, you keep your money. Now, that would go for something like Assassin's Creed or Crusader Kings 3 or
Yeah.
even God of War. If it was on there and it would be like,
One of these big games.
yeah, one of those big games. But if it's a horror game where you gotta rush through it, do all this stuff, yeah, somebody's gonna be able to find it, and maybe they don't feel like the price is fair. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
so this in particular happened to a small developer. Okay, and her name is Amica Games. I don't know if that's a company or if that's a person, but let me see here. Amica Games are without funds to continue the work on their next game from day to day, and as a result, they've issued a statement saying they're leaving game development for an indefinite time to collect their thoughts. And here is the statement that they put out. They said, "Friends, thank you for your support. I'm leaving game development for an indefinite time to collect my thoughts. The fact is that my game, Summer of 58, does not reach 2 hours of playing time by Steam standards. In this regard, a huge number of returns on the game, even with positive reviews, and I do not earn anything to create a new game. Thank you very much for supporting me. I am very glad that you like my games, but since I have no conditions to do something new, I have to do something else, and I will immediately answer everyone who ask about from day to day. This game will not see the light of day in the near future. See you later." So you could tell they're hurt.
Okay.
So it's a short 90-minute experience. She could have probably changed it, but the thing is, developing a game seems to be hard as fuck. And even adding in those extra 30 minutes require who knows how many months of editing, testing, debugging, money, time, effort, creativity. And sometimes they don't have that. Maybe that, in their mind they created the perfect, 90-minute game and people beat it in 90 minutes and they say, "You know what, this game was fun, but I like my money back."
So here's the issue that I have. Okay, yeah, it's shitty that people were doing that, but you as a developer and maybe, you know, the Steam, like the cap is 2 hours and your game is 90 minutes. Why the fuck did you not think that this was gonna happen?
Yeah.
That business decision is kind of stupid.
Well, sometimes people don't read terms of conditions and terms of service. And sometimes they just want to
I
put their game out, and like I just said right now, maybe they felt like in their mind they built the perfect game and have
yeah.
no idea of this policy. Then they start realizing that people are getting refunds, and they're like, "Whoa, what the fuck? How are people getting refunds?" And then you start to put two and two together, and then you're like, "Well, I sold. Just imagine, okay? You sell 1 million copies for $1.
Yeah.
1 million people get refunds. You had 1 million, you lost 1 million. How
Yeah.
would you feel?
I mean, it would suck, but
It would suck, yeah.
at the end of the day, if it was nobody's fault, but the people who are introducing the game to a platform that literally tells you that they can be returned within 2 hours.
Yeah.
Now, the smart thing to do here would be try and figure out a way to make the game playable, even if it's 90 minutes. When you reach a certain percentage, they don't allow returns anymore. And I think the percentage is far more fair than, a clock, because you can run through the fucking game with 90 minutes in 2 hours, but then if you reach like 15% of the game, you're locked into it. You can't return it. By
Right.
15%, I'm pretty sure whether you like the game or not to keep it.
Yeah, that's who. They would have to implement some different things, I would say percentage, seemed pretty fair, but I would even go with trophies. Steam gives you trophies for these games. And
Okay, yeah, see?
I would be like, I would have trophies implemented saying that this level, they beat this level, they beat this level, boom. These levels are on average time. They dedicate like maybe 45 minutes to each level. That would help people, even if it wasn't 45 minutes, even if it wasn't 2 hours. Um, they would still have a chance to keep their money. So I feel for the person, but at the same time, it's like you said, you should have read. You should have read the terms and conditions. And even if your game was beatable in an hour and a half, no speed run or not.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes people just didn't like the game. We can't just say all your returns are based off of the fact that your game is 90 minutes. We said this last time. Maybe sometimes your game is ass and people weren't feeling
You
it.
don't want to accept it, yeah?
They don't want to accept it. The fact that the game is trash and positive reviews don't mean shit. I've seen restaurants with positive reviews that were terrible
It tastes like ass. Yeah.
And it tastes like ass, like it almost seemed like they lied, so I don't know what the situation that this person was in, this developers were in, but they set themselves up for failure, like you just said, they should have known, and if they known, yeah,
It's a bad
but
business call.
it's a bad business move, and
Yeah.
I'd hate to be you. I'd hate to waste all that money, waste all that time just for you to not be able to, prosper, But like
Yeah.
like you
Enjoy
said,
it.
it might be ass. Let's be real. I might have to check out this game, Summer of '58. I might have to look at it, and if the game is ass, I'll tell everybody right now it was ass. Okay, but
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it's a mixture of it was ass and it was people abusing the system as well. So
Oh yeah.
if it was
50-50.
if it was Call of Duty and people played like an hour of Call of Duty, I would understand people doing returns. But sometimes these small little indie gamers, they make games, the art, the thumbnails, the concept art, the logo, yeah, it looks all badass. You get into the game, it's fucking trash. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna have to look at it. Okay, I'll have to get back to you. So what are your final thoughts on that, Silencer?
I feel bad for them, but at the end of the day, it was a mistake that could have been avoided by reading the terms and conditions and policies that come with the service. So
Right. And
it's not all to blame the gamers or because you put in a restaurant fucking free food between 2 to 3. What the fuck do you think people are gonna do? They're
show
gonna
up
go to
only
your
on two or
restaurant,
three.
gobble up all the free shit, and then dip.
Right.
I mean, it's impossible to to have that mentality where, oh yeah, people are not gonna fuck me over. No. So
Yeah.
that's why you need to be extra careful.
Well, you know what else too? I used to remember. Let's see if I can still remember what it was for returns. It was like when people bought something and it was commission based, right? And
Yeah.
they say, yeah, you'd get a return, but the guy that sold you the shit, he'd still get a percentage. You know?
Okay, I get you. Yeah.
There used to be like, I mean, there still is. Sometimes when you buy
Yeah.
things, just because you return it, the guy still gets a thing because that's how he got paid.
The
So
same thing
I'd
with
say for
a
us,
restocking fee.
yeah. So there should have been some type of base pay. You're like, all right, you know what? Even if there's a refund, we're still going to give you money
Yeah.
because of that, But it's tricky with the 90-minute thing. People could say that they played it, they beat it, or they just didn't enjoy it. But I feel like if they sold the game, right? They sold it, they should get some money back. And whose pockets it would come out of? I would have to say that it would have to be Steam's, and that's another issue as well because I doubt Steam wants to give up tons of money just because they want to refine their refund policy, because it's going to be bad business for them,
Yeah.
and then bad business between them and the developers, because they're going to be like, oh, we paid all this money, and eventually, I don't know. I disagree with Fortnite's. They have a return policy where you can only return two things ever in
What the fuck?
Fortnite. Yeah, if you buy a skin, you buy a bundle. People would play as a skin and they would return it. Right? I did this plenty of times. I did it twice. I bought something, played with it, made a video, sold it. Right? Returned it for a refund. Bought another skin, returned the last skin, and then I ran out of refunds. And then one of the times I bought something and it was really expensive and I couldn't return it, and I was just stuck there like, whoa, where'd all these returns go? And then I realized what I did with it, and yeah, it kind of fucked me over. So I think that they should kind of do some shit like that too, with like maybe like a 6 month type of deal. Like every
Yeah.
6 months you could return it maybe like 2 times.
Yeah, that'll be smart.
Yeah, something small like that. But yeah, sometimes maybe the game is ass. Sometimes it's people abusing the system. So I think with this outcry and this light being shined on the situation, they might update their policies here soon. So I'll definitely keep you guys up to date.